Hi guys, can you solve this? Can you simplify this? Now, let's get into it. Whenever you have a negative sign in indices, the first thing is to eliminate that negative sign. And remember that when you have a raised to the power of minus x, this is 0, this is negative index. So when you have a raised to the power of minus x, it becomes 1 over a raised to the power of x. But you still need to take note that when you have 1 over a over b, it is going to become b over a. 1 over any fraction, you just change it, you find the reciprocal. 1 over means inverse or reciprocal. So 1 over a over b becomes b over a. That means 1 over 16 over 9 will become 9 over 16. Now, this negative sign when it becomes 1 over. So we're supposed to have 1 over 16 over 9. But 1 over 16 over 9 will become 9 over 16. So we have 9 over 16 raised to the power of this negative sign has been eliminated. So we have 3 over 2 multiplied by this negative sign will also become 1 over then 16. Do not forget to have raised to the power of 3 over 4. Then do not forget the big bracket raised to the power of 1 over 3. So what's the next thing? This 9 can be changed to 3 square. This 16 can be changed to 4 square. 9 can be changed to 3 square, 16 can be changed to 4 square. Actually, the 16 can also be changed to 2 raised to the power 4. 16 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 4, and it can also be written as 4 raised to the power of 2. But we're going to choose this because what we're using here is 3 square. So that means we're going to have what? 4 square. So that we can ensure consistency. So we're using 3 square for 9, and we're using 4 square for 16. What do we have now? We have 3 raised to the power of 2 divided by 4 raised to the power of 2. Put it inside the bracket. Then we have our 3 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 16. Now we can actually change this 1. We can change it to 1 raised to the power of 4. 1 raised to the power of any number is 1. In fact, 1 raised to the power of 1 million is 1. 1 raised to the power of minus 1 billion is 1. 1 raised to the power of anything is 1. The reason I'm changing it to 1 raised to the power of 4 is because I want to change this 16 to 2 raised to the power of 4. You know why? So that 4 will cancel this 4. You see what I'm talking about. You shall see. Let's just follow me. So we can change this 1. We change it to 1 raised to the power of 4. And this 16 we change it to 2 raised to the power of 4. Then open your bracket, close it, put your 3 over 4, and do not forget the big bracket. And then you have your 1 over 3. 1 over 3. Now what's the next thing? There's another law of indices. Another law of indices that states that when you have a raised to the power of x over b raised to the power of x, you have the same power for both the numerator and the denominator. You can bring out that power, then you put the numerator and the denominator together and have a single power outside the bracket. I'm sure you can still remember this law. So we're going to apply that particular law here. That means we're going to have 3 over 4 raised to the power of, bring this 2, bring it out. Then it's going to be multiplied by this 3 over 2. You can see how this 2 cancel this 2. That is actually what we want to achieve. Then multiply by this 4 will also be brought out. So we're going to have 1 over 2, bring out the 4, then multiply by 3 over 4. Can you see that this 4 will cancel this 4? That is what we want to achieve. Then close the big bracket, raised to the power of 1 over 3. Let's manage this side. Manage this side. Now from here, of course, we know that 2 cancels 2, 4 cancels 4. What do we have left here? We have our 3 over 4. Open the bracket, close it, put your 3. We have 3 left here. Then multiply by 1 over 2. Put it inside the bracket. Raise to the power of what we have left. The first cancel 4. So we have 3. We have 3 left. Then do not forget your big bracket and put your power outside, which is 1 over 3. Now what's the next thing? The next thing is to say that we have 3. Remember that when you have a multiplied by b, a raised to the power of x multiplied by b raised to the power of x. What do? You bring the a and b together and put the power outside, just like the other law that I explained that we used to do this. We're also using this other law. Remember the name of this law? Can you remember? After some of you have forgotten. We call it power of a product law. Power of a product law. I gave you the law. So we're going to have 3 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 2. Open the bracket, close the bracket. You know why we're doing this? Because the power here is 3. The power here is also 3. It's also 3. And have a multiplication sign between them. So bring the power out. So we're going to have 3. Then do not forget that this the power outside the bracket, which is what? 1 over 3. What do we achieve now? 3 cancels 3. Mathematics is too sweet. So what's the next thing? We can now say that 3 multiplied by 1 gives 3, 4 multiplied by 2 gives 8, and this is our final answer. Thank you, and God bless you. Do not forget to like, comment on, and share my post. Bye.